Once upon a time, in a bustling city by the sea, there was a young man named Ethan whose life seemed to be falling apart. His business had collapsed, and he was struggling day by day to pay his employees. Orders stopped coming in, creditors relentlessly called him, and his financial situation worsened. On top of all this, his wife decided to leave him, taking their children with her. Ethan, once full of passion and dreams, now felt as if he had lost everything. He had started his journey with immense energy and ambition, never imagining that life would bring him to such a point of despair. His education had prepared him for a bright future, but no one had taught him how to handle failure. Now, standing alone, facing life, he stared at the distant sea, his heart clouded with dark thoughts. He felt that life no longer had any purpose. Maybe if I end it all, the insurance money will help me pay my debts, he thought to himself, filled with despair. As Ethan was drowning in his dark thoughts, an elderly man with gray hair and a calm demeanor happened to notice him while jogging nearby. This elderly man, with his bright eyes and kind smile, seemed to sense the pain and hopelessness that Ethan was experiencing. He approached Ethan, gently patted his back, and asked in a soothing voice, "Son, is something troubling you?" Startled, Ethan looked at the stranger and quickly replied, "I don't know you, sir. Please leave me alone." However, the elderly man persisted. "I see that you are in great pain. Perhaps I can help. Please, tell me what's wrong." Suddenly, unable to hold it in any longer, Ethan poured out his heart. He shared everything, his failed business, mounting debts, a broken family, and his hopelessness. The elderly man listened patiently, then smiled warmly and said, "Son, if money is the root of your problems, I can help. My name is David, and I was once one of the wealthiest people here. Although I retired from business long ago, perhaps I can still help you. Let me help you regain hope." With that, the elderly man took out a blank check, signed it, and gently placed it into Ethan's hand. "Take as much as you need, and pay me back whenever you can. Don't lose hope," he said with a reassuring smile, then continued his jog and walked away. Ethan stood there, stunned. He unfolded the check and saw that it was signed by none other than David. A spark of hope ignited within him. He felt a surge of energy and confidence he hadn't felt in months. Straightening his posture, he decided to face life again, with renewed determination. He returned to his office and called a team meeting. "Our tough times are over. Let's get back to work, deliver orders, and rebuild this business." His enthusiasm was contagious, and his team, inspired by his newfound energy, dove back into their work with renewed determination. Over time, orders began to flow again, deliveries were made on time, and the business started recovering. Months passed, and things began returning to normal. His financial situation improved, his emotional and physical health recovered, and even his wife and children came back. Remarkably, he never needed to cash the check. It stayed safely in his locker as a cherished memento. 2 years later, while cleaning his office, Ethan found the check again. Overwhelmed with gratitude, he decided to return it and thank the elderly man. He went back to the park where they had met, hoping to find him jogging there again. After waiting for hours with no sign of the man, he noticed a large building nearby and inquired at the reception. When he asked for David, the receptionist softly laughed and said, "This building is a care home for seniors with mental health issues. There is an elderly gentleman here who believes he is David. He gives out blank checks to people to cheer them up. Did he give you one, too?" Ethan stood there in shock, realizing the truth. David had passed away years ago, and the check was never real, yet it had changed everything for Ethan. Not his bank balance, but his mindset. It had restored his confidence and given him hope when he needed it the most. Hope and belief can transform even the darkest moments of our lives. Life is full of challenges, and failures often come unexpectedly, leaving us unprepared. However, the key to overcoming adversity lies not in external solutions, but in our mindset. Ethan's journey from despair to triumph reminds us that sometimes all we need is a spark, a trigger that reawakens our confidence and motivates us to move forward. The blank check was not a financial solution, but a symbol of faith, reminding him that he had the strength to rebuild his life. It wasn't his circumstances that changed first. It was his attitude, his energy, and his determination to try again. This story beautifully highlights that every hardship carries the seed of opportunity and growth. And with persistence and a positive outlook, we can navigate even the toughest times and find a brighter path ahead.